spent $250 on a 3DO. Not just pocket change, that's roughly 3 months of premium streaming, 2 solid dinners out, and 1 very regretful impulse buy. For a toaster for half the price, and I could have made even more breakfast. But instead, I got a toaster, a 3DO that can play a game where you crash, you burn, and you rage. Because that was the only game for half of 1993 when this thing launched that you could play on the system. We're not going to get into that yet, just bear with me. Welcome to the console. Now dare to ask, what if we overpriced the console, sold fewer games, and just marketed horribly? Would it succeed? Spoiler, it didn't.
When the 3DO hit shelves in October 1993, it cost $700. That's not a console price. That's a down payment on a tiny island or a decent used car that probably runs. For the low price of 7 single-parent mortgages, you can own a 3DO, complete with modern 3D graphics, limited titles, and existential dread. Parents everywhere heard $700 video game system and thought, isn't Monopoly $20? The 3DO launch basically invented buyer's remorse.
The 3DO is about $1,300 if it launched today, if the same price of $700 in 1993. You could buy a PlayStation 5 digital edition, actually, 2 of them, and still have enough money for a deluxe pizza. So there is literally no reason to buy this thing for $700. If you do see this and it is still $700, please call authorities immediately, evacuate your area, and stay safe, because those guys are called scammers.
On paper, the 3DO was dazzling. A 32-bit RISC CPU, impressive polygon counts, and CD-ROM storage. In reality, it was like hiring a track star who then sprained an ankle right before the big race. If you tried to shove a USB drive in here, you would achieve the spectacular result of absolutely nothing, except possibly short-circuiting your patience. And that single controller port, because nothing says multiplayer fun like inviting your friends to stare at you fumbling through a one-player campaign. So you're probably wondering, how do you do multiplayer? Well, it's simple. On each controller, there is a port. You then plug in a controller into that port, and boom, you daisy chain the controllers. This is both really good and really bad. Although there is less wires between you and the console, that means there's more wires in between players. You can actually have up to 8 for one singular game, FIFA International Soccer. Yeah, somebody really needs to try this. I need to buy 7 3DO controllers and invite 7 of my friends to come over and play FIFA International Soccer on the 3DO. The 3DO game library is like your cousin's garage sale shelf. A few gems, a lot of confusion, and the occasional head-scratching oddity. But 3 titles rose above the noise. Gex, released in 1995. Art Channel Surfing's Gecko flips through horror houses and sci-fi sets, delivering one-liner sharper than his claws. He was the console's unofficial mascot and resident stand-up comedian. The Need for Speed, 1994. A high-octane racing sim that laid the groundwork for EA's driving empire. You dodge police, push your engine past its limits, and spectacularly crash into flames. It's like auditioning for Fast and Furious if your stunt double forgot how to brake. Actually, that's kind of false, because this is known as one of the slowest racing games ever, especially in the Need for Speed lineup, so if you ask me which one to play, I would say the third one from the PlayStation. Crash and Burn, 1993, the only game for a few months on the 3DO. A futuristic demolition derby where every turn ends in fiery wreckage. The announcer sounds like he recorded his lines while trapped in a tunnel with 5 dogs and 1 echo. The Master Plan, license the 3DO hardware to anyone with pocket change. Panasonic, Sanyo, Gold Star, they all slapped their names on identical boxes. It's like inviting every chef to cook your dinner. None bothered to read the recipe. They looked fine and stylish, but these multiple brandings of the same thing were very confusing. Although it didn't matter what brand you got, they could all do the same thing. I bet you back in 1993, most people were wondering if some 3DO games could only work on some models. None of them moved the needle. Consumers saw 3 identical consoles and asked, which one's the correct box, and then bought something else. There was only a couple accessories the 3DO had. Before I talk about the Pro Pad, let me just tell you what the 3DO controller looks like and feels like. Feels like a Genesis controller, looks like an SNES controller, has triggers like an SNES controller, but the button layout's like a Genesis, but the middle is like an SNES. Anyways, the Pro Pad controller is just a complete SNES version. That's about it. And the memory pack. In case you run out of memory, you can buy this and plug it into the back of the console, which is what the expansion port is. But only released in Japan. So, that didn't work out so well. By 1995, the 3DO's tag got a 50% haircut, down to $300. Retailers threw in free demo disc, console cleaning kits, and apologies.
They even bundled a sampler CD, just showing you why you shouldn't buy the console. For example, here's a demo called Road Race. Even at a half price, the 3DO still costs more than a month's worth of gas, and even then a car would definitely be a better option. The 3DO never toppled Sega or Nintendo. It was very far off. It sold about 2 million compared to Sega's 30.75 and Nintendo's 49.1, but it also competed against the next console they made, with the Saturn selling 9.26 million and the Nintendo 64 selling 32.93 million, and they outlost the PlayStation, which sold 102.49 million. Sometimes being a footnote in the industry is the best role you can play, because nobody remembers you until a YouTuber like me puts you on the spotlight. That's all the damage that I could legally do today. Trust me, the 3DO has already taken enough. Between the daisy chain controllers and a price tag that screamed trust fund, and the question, what if mediocrity met surround sound, I've officially completed the passage of retro regret. If you like this console that tried to be everything except affordable, congratulations. You now qualify for emotional compensation. If not, don't worry. You're probably just upset that the Road Rash disc that you own doesn't double as a dinner plate. Catch me next time when I review a console that doesn't cost more than a kidney. And that's it, folks. Take chances, make mistakes. I'm Old School, this has been Agony, and this is the only console that I have to tell people why I own it.